So bear with me there. Okay. So guys, just for those that don't know me, my name's Goran Henstrom. I just want to welcome everyone that is on the call here and everyone that's going to be listening to this call over the next couple of days to our pretty much our second Nerium update and our second session here. And what I suppose we're going to cover off today are just some of the basics. We're going to hear from a gentleman who has probably close to 20 odd years experience in the relationship marketing, network marketing arena, direct sales arena. He's also had a fabulous career in corporate, but we're very excited to know that he's part of One Team Nerium, part of this group, and obviously is going to be assisting us in some major ways. For the benefit of those who haven't heard, a couple of, as a bit of an update, a couple of things have happened over the last week or so that is quite exciting news. Many of us thought that when we went to launch the program that we'd be looking at close to $800 for a brand partner, that is a team member to get on board, but it's now been verified that the starter kit is actually only going to be $645 delivered to the door, and it will include 7 products. So it'll have 4 age-defying night creams and 3 day creams. So if you don't know what they are because you're looking at this for the first time, I'm sure over the next couple of days we can get you enough information to describe that. What tonight is about, it's not about information in regards to what Nerium is. Tonight is more about how you can start to lay the foundation to have a successful launch. So for those of you that don't know, we right now are literally sitting in seats, I suppose, that no one has ever sat in before. We're 3 months away from being part of what will arguably, in fact, I think we're pretty confident that it's going to be the biggest launch of a direct sales company in Australia's history. There have been some big ones, but we're anticipating upwards of 10,000 people to get started with this company when we launch on the 18th of October. Now, how much of a share of that 10,000 group that you would like to do? And we've got the next nearly 3 months to make that happen. And what we want to do is we want to try and provide a platform so that anyone, regardless of experience, can grab a hold of this opportunity and make it a success. You're going to be part of a very dynamic team that'll be giving of its time, support, energy, and I suppose experience. And we're very privileged to have so many people already, many of you on the call right now who have got tons and tons of experience in this industry, and you've landed really on both feet now in the right company, at the right time, and definitely in the right place. So we just congratulate you for making that decision to partner with all of us in this journey, but most importantly, let's make it a big success for you. So as I mentioned, we're going to be launching on the 18th of October, so that gives you about 90, anyone good at maths, about 94, 95 days. And in that time, we've got the opportunity to offer people the chance to position themselves for that launch and literally start to bring a group of people together so that when they launch, when you launch, you can actually have a meteoric rise in the business. So I can think of literally no one better to share a few insights on. It's really just going to be a free-form conversation where you can imagine all of us sitting around a boardroom table and listening in on Daryl. So just to give you, by the way, just before I introduce Daryl, if you've got a question, if anything Daryl talks about sparks a thought and you want a question answered, once Daryl has completed what he's going to go through, we will open it up to questions. But because that can be quite a manic affair, depending on how many questions there are, what I'd ask is that you actually private message me. So the way to private message, if you move your mouse on the screen, you'll notice that there's a chat. Down the bottom of your screen, you should see that when you move your mouse, you'll see a number of little icons, and one of them is chat. And if you click on that chat, you can actually send a message to someone privately, okay, by actually selecting their name. Now, if you can't work out how to do it, but because when it pops up, it says everybody. If you click on everyone, not everybody, everyone, the word everyone, you'll see an individual's name. And what you can do is you just put your mouse on that person's name, which is me, Goran Henstrom. And in fact, I'd better just make sure that is me, because are you listed as Goran as well? Hang on, let me have a look. Yeah, we've got two Goran Henstroms, so that's going to be very confusing. So what I'm going to suggest, just
one of us will pick it up.
Beg your pardon. So Daryl, it's either going to go to you in your alter ego as Goran or me. Okay, guys, just send it to one of the Gorans, and either Daryl or myself will answer the question at the end of the session. Everyone got that? All right. So let me just introduce this gentleman. So Daryl Loxley, I probably first heard of Daryl about 23, 24 years ago, when I actually was someone sitting in a room of about 600 people here in Melbourne, and this gentleman came down from Sydney to share some information about a company that we were involved in at the time, and he totally blew me away. Number one, with his passion, with his insightfulness, and I suppose with his directness as well. Okay, Daryl doesn't need to say a lot of words to make those words count. Okay, so you're in for a treat over the next few minutes. And really, over the ensuing years, we watched Daryl grow into being a mighty force and in creating what arguably was the biggest organisation in that company. Daryl and I have maintained a friendship, and obviously we were very excited when he decided to have a look at this program and not just get involved, but really become a driving force for change with this company. So we know that Daryl is going to build a humongous team with Miriam and launch very spectacularly. So we're very fortunate to have his wisdom available to all of us. So guys, what I'd ask, I think Daryl, you might want to just mute everybody just for the time being, because you're still the host, I believe, or maybe I can do that. Let's have a look. I'm going to try and mute everyone just in case you're like me and you've got kids. Here we go. All right, I'm muting everyone. Let me see. All right, I think I've muted everyone. All right, so hopefully you can still hear me. But I've got, a 6-year-old in the back who might raid the back of my neck at any time, jump out of bed to do that. So if you're the same, I'm going to mute you. But remember, if you've got a question, shoot it through to one of the Gorans on screen. One of them is actually Daryl Loxley. So Daryl's going to be sharing some information to you right now. I'll hand it over to you. In fact, Daryl, I think, what do I do here? Hang on. All right, you can see we're super technical here, guys. We love talking to people, but we're not very good when it comes to technical. Hang on. No, that's me. Sorry, Daryl, I'm just trying to find you inside the. There you are. Unmute. All right, you're unmuted now. Okay. All right. Let's rock and roll. Daryl, over to you. The webcast is yours.
Right. Thank you, Goran. Mate, fantastic introduction. I appreciate your kind words. Goran mentioned there how to, if you want to ask some questions, you can chat to Goran, and you can probably send messages to other people. Just be careful if you're going to say something not nice about me and you're going to send it on to one of your friends, that you don't send it to be my mistake. I've only had that happen once. So anyhow, certainly any questions you got there, fire through. Tonight, I'm going to spend time on giving you a couple of principles before we get into a little bit more detail around Miriam, because I believe these principles they're not unique to Miriam. So basically, the first thing I want to talk to you about is what we call the success formula, and many on the link up have already heard about it in the past. Most of you know of it. If my mate Dave Easthope there was unmuted, I'd ask him what it is, and he'd definitely know it, I'm sure. But I can hear it going through his brain as we speak. But it's nice to have it refreshed. And for some of you that are maybe newer on the link up, you haven't heard of it before. But the formula is, I encourage you to take notes, by the way. If you've got a pen and piece of paper, take some notes. It always helps you get it into the brain a little more securely by writing it down. And it also gives you something to refer back to if you think, what was that he said? I've forgotten. You got something to refer back to. So basically the success formula that I've seen applied, and I have applied many times in my own life, is simply this: D plus B plus A equals success. So putting Miriam aside for the moment, as individuals, I'm sure we're all on the link because we want to be successful. You're investing your time. I won't spend any time on my definition of success, but it is very quickly the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The key word, the progressive realization. So the fact you're on the link here tonight, I already deem you as successful because you're doing something about moving forward, about progressing. You're progressing by the mere fact you're on this link tonight. So congratulations and again, welcome. So when we talk about being successful, D plus B plus A, what are they? D stands for dream or purpose or desire or any other word you're comfortable with. In other words, having something, a clear vision in your mind of something you want to achieve. B stands for belief, having belief in whatever it is you're embarking on, and also belief in yourself. We're not going to spend too much time on belief in yourself tonight because that's a big topic, and I'll talk to you about that many times over the coming months and years as we're together. And of course, the last one is activity. Now, we all know at the end of the day, it's the actions we take that determines really how successful we are. And so the second concept I'm going to introduce to you is what I call CEA, C-E-A. You probably think by now this guy loves acronyms. I just find it keeps everything simple and easy to recall and remind yourself of. So CEA, CEA, what does it stand for? Consistent, effective action. The two key words there are consistent and effective. You could take consistent, efficient action and still not get where you want to be. I'll give you an example. I'm sure many people in this industry would think I can just sit at home and throw messages up on social media in my pajamas, never get out of bed, and 1 year down the track, I'm going to be wealthy. Now, let me tell you, social media is a great medium and a great tool to help create business in this modern world. But if you think that's how you're going to create a successful enterprise, I think you're mistaken. Is it efficient? In other words, can you get the message out to hundreds of people quickly? Yes, it's efficient, but it's not effective. The key is consistent, effective action. So the two drivers of that action, why is it then, if we can sit here tonight and we can go through very quickly and very succinctly the proven, underline the word proven activities that Niriam has clearly documented that will cause you to succeed. Why is it that some will and some won't? And it really comes back to the other two elements, having a clear desire and having belief. Now, often people say to me, yeah, well, this all sounds good, but what's your desire? What's your dream? Why did you get in it? And it's different for all people, and in many cases, people don't like to share. I'm happy to share my own personal involved in this particular company at this particular time. Surprising by the looks I have, and you can at the latter end a normal career. So a few years ago, I was pretty on track with what I was wanting to do, and unfortunately, my wife and I, we got ripped off for a large sum of money. It was actually $562,000. That's not an investment. That's actually money owed to us that was never paid. And so there's another $500,000 probably in bad investments around that as well. So it left a bit of a hole for us, and we chose to build a conventional type business, which we're currently building, and that was our way to basically get back to a position where we wanted to be. And so, but a few weeks ago, through Goran, which I'm absolutely over the moon that he bothered to take the time, we got to see Niriam, because I don't turn away opportunities. I always look. And so when we looked at Niriam, we saw it as a way to fast track and or help get to where we want to be from a financial point of view. And so, in other words, recover that, that failing, if you like, or that loss that we had. So I'm always one to say you can't move forward very fast while you're looking in the rearview mirror. So we're not going to look back. So I don't know what it is for you, but I'd encourage you to actually take the time to put on paper what it is that is going to drive you to do the consistent, effective action. Because without it, at some point in time, you might find that it's easier to not do it. And I love the concept of the Slight Edge, the book written by the founder of this company, Jeff Olson. It's really about the fact that it's just as easy to not do the simple daily activities as it is to do them. It's just as easy to do them or not do them. It doesn't really make much difference, because as an isolated activity, there's not much in it. There's very little in it. I mean, it'd be just as easy to not to be on this link up tonight, for example. I'm sure there's people were invited that thought, I'll do something else. Now, is that going to make a big difference to their success? No. No, not really. Would it really matter? No. But if consistently that's their behaviour, I can absolutely assure you it will be a big part of where they end up. So consistent, effective action, developing the disciplines, is driven by a strong desire. And the second element is belief. Now, tonight, as I said, I just want to talk a little bit about belief in Nerium. And so I'm sure for many of us on the link up, we're still at different levels in terms of how we feel about this company. As Goran mentioned, it hasn't even started in Australia yet. So here we are tonight talking about a company that isn't even off the ground, and here we are getting excited about getting active with it. Well, there's good reason for that if you immerse yourself in it enough and look at the track record elsewhere. And logic follows that if the success it's had in South Korea and Canada and Mexico, following on from where it was started in the US, it would easily lead you to believe the same will happen in Australia. And for those of it that do believe that, we have absolutely no doubt it will. And as Goran mentioned before, 10,000 plus members engaged in Nerium come the starting day on the 18th of October, 10,000 plus. So how will you get that belief? Will you get that belief by being away from the program? You won't. You just won't get it. You have to somewhat immerse yourself in it. Okay? You have to somewhat immerse yourself. You have to put the time and effort in to understand it, to get exposed to the various elements. And the more you do it, the more you'll start to realize that the business is real. It is real. It's hard to get your hands on right now. We don't have a product here, but you can see lots of information from various experts, different people, testimonials, etc., around the product. It's not the same as having it in your hands and using it firsthand. We recognize that, but there's enough compelling evidence out there to convince you, it's been enough to convince me, that there's an exceptional product here that we have on offer whose time is right, etc., etc. We could go through all the various elements, but as you expose yourself more, yes, some of it is on faith. Some of it is listening to people and you're taking them at face value. But you know, as you talk to more people, get around different people, listen to more videos, see more things, see more literature, etc., etc., then you'll realize the story just keeps stacking up. There's no ambiguity in the story. It's consistent and it's very telling. I can give you examples. When people might ask me a question, well, is this company any good? Well, my simple question to you is, why would a brand as big as Microsoft put their name to it, the first and only direct selling company in history out of thousands and thousands of them? That brand, that company has put their name side by side as a partner and doing all of the back-end information technology. It doesn't make sense to me that a company of that repute would align themselves with a company they deem as dodgy, not going anywhere, etc., etc., etc. So that's just one piece of information. But as you put all those pieces together, you'll get to a position where you believe in Nerium. Now, I'm not going to single this particular person out on the link up tonight because I don't want to embarrass him, but he gave me a very telling story in the last 24 hours or so. A very telling story. And I'm going to pinch it from him tonight without mentioning who it is, but one day he'll tell this from stage or from somewhere, from some medium. Could be on a link up like this. And that was that he was involved in another organisation, had a bit of a crack at it, and was doing actually okay out of it. But one particular person he spoke to really didn't come on board. Someone he knew fairly well didn't get involved. In the last couple of days, that same person has become involved with him in this program. And when he asked what was the difference, you might be surprised. The answer wasn't the business. The answer was what was coming out of the eyes of the person presenting. In other words, what I'm saying is, if you really only have 80% belief in what you're doing, people are intuitive enough to see it. They can pick it up. They sense it. Even if they can't think it through rationally and articulate to you what exactly it is, subconsciously they get it. And it causes them to make decisions. And so Goran and I and some of the other key people on the link tonight, we don't expect all of you, you might have only looked at this in the last 24 hours. It's unreasonable of us to expect you to be at a point now where your belief is that strong, you're just going to absolutely go gung-ho at it. But I encourage you to immerse yourself enough to get that. While you're getting it, borrow the belief of the people that have already got it. In other words, latch onto and link in with people that are committed, people that are absolute certain, and what you'll find is they will easily encourage some of those other people into your organisation that you on your own might otherwise have had difficulty. And the best way to do that is through three-way calls. If you you might have someone that you link to and they may not be, your next door neighbour, they might be in another state or a long way away. You can still utilise that person through technology today. It's very simple to call someone and then set up a little three-way link and bring someone else in to back you up. There's a lot of positives out of doing a three-way call. So having a clear purpose, having a clear vision, having a clear desire for a predetermined outcome, something out into the future, something significant enough to get you excited at this point in time, is a very important element. And I know many of you on the link up tonight have probably heard that 1,000 times and going, I don't really need to hear this again. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're not applying it, you do. It's one thing to have knowledge. There's a big difference between knowledge and know-how. People will tell you knowledge is powerful. I'll suggest knowledge has got no power whatsoever. What's got power is know-how. That's the application of the knowledge. It's only when it's put in practice that it has any meaning. Up until then, you're good for dinner parties to be able to get everyone excited about how much you know. But it doesn't go too far in telling anyone how much you've done. There's a big difference between knowing it and having done it. And so I'd encourage you to definitely take time to do that. It's something Vivica and I have definitely done. Vivica, might be able to see it in the background. I'm not sure what you can see in the back. There's a dream board behind me up there with a whole bunch of stuff on it. And one of the cards up there is Nerium's logo. So build your belief, immerse yourself to as much as you can in what Nerium's offering. There is functions running regularly in most states and even some of the more regional areas now. I'd get along to those, and certainly talking to the person who introduced you, make sure you have regular contact. Even if you don't know why you're ringing them, just say, I'm ringing you, I don't know why, I just want to talk to you. And you'll probably find you get some positive reinforcement from those people. And that all helps. Every time you get some positive reinforcement, it'll help build your belief in what you're doing. Personal belief, that's a bigger question. We'll tackle that another time when we've got more time. That's a much bigger subject that I will talk to you about. But just underline that acronym: consistent, effective action. Consistency and effectiveness. Action, we all know, is what's key. If you want to get fit, how do you do it? If we look at the ads on television, they'll tell you buy one of their vibrating belts and 4 weeks later going to have abs like Rocky. Well, we all know that's bullshit. We all know that's crap. So you've got to take consistent action if you want to get fit. Everyone knows that. It's common knowledge. You've got to do something consistently. And so success in any area, it comes back to that, consistency and effectiveness. All right, so I want to spend a little bit of time quickly on the effectiveness. And if you haven't at this point in time, start to understand what's called Nerium's rhythm. And it's really Nerium's 10 core commitments. Get the success planner. If you haven't got it already, there's a PDF version available that you can get from the person who's got you on this link up tonight. And I would work through that success planner. It has a little section on your why or your vision, if you like. It has a section on putting together your capital for the business, which is purely a list of names. That's the only real capital you need to build this type of business, a list of contacts. And then we'll talk about the 10 core commitments. Now, right now, we can't utilize all the 10 core commitments because we're in pre-launch phase. So you will see on some of the material that the way the business is predominantly built in the US and countries that are well established is a very simple, basic method of sharing the product. So basically, you go to a friend, you say, I want to borrow your face for a week, slap this stuff on it every night for 7 nights in a row. I'm going to take a happy snap, and in a week's time, we'll take a second happy snap and see the difference, and away we go. That's how you build an area in business, basically. Now, we can't do that right now, so we've got a different method of actually engaging people into the business, and that is just giving them a very simple overview, giving them some simple videos that give them a bit of a teaser and introduction. And for those of you that are fairly new and new to this industry, as quickly as you can, engage them with someone experienced in the industry, because their belief, passion, and understanding will carry the day for you until such time as we can build it around the normal way when we're in full swing come October 18. Please don't use the fact that we don't have product as an excuse to not start. That would be the most costly decision you could ever make, because it means you're going to miss out on establishing that clear foundation of getting started. Now, remember, I live in a high-rise here in South Bank in Melbourne currently, and we're 2 doors up from where is going to be the tallest high-rise in the country, 108 stories, 108-story residential building. Now, they've been building that building now for, where are we, July. They started in October last year. So you might think, October last year, we're in July, it must be up at least level 10, level 12. Well, it's at -2 at the moment. It's still not out of the ground. What have they been doing for 9 months? Building the foundation. Because about 70% of the concrete, the raw materials going into that high-rise, guess where it is? It's under the ground. You will never, ever see it once it's built. No one will ever see it. But without it, the building wouldn't be supported. It would not last. So you have the time now to build a fantastic foundation. Even if you're brand new to the industry, just leverage off the people that have done this before. There's plenty of us in this already who know what they're doing, and they can help you get that foundation in place. A great launching pad for you to explode out, come out of the blocks quickly come October 18. So the 10 core commitments that I would look at, commitment number 2 is, it says commit to at least 2 exposures a day. Now, in the normal sense, that's talking about giving someone a magazine or giving someone a product. We don't have that, so obviously you can't do that, but you might think of sending someone 2 video clips a day, or sending 2 people a video clip each day. Just try and get a message out there as regularly as you can. The next one, of course, I would talk about is 5, and that's a 10 regular training. So these sessions we put on, the more you get on these, and you hear people like hopefully myself and Goran and others who will be on these from time to time in the future, that will help contribute to build your confidence and belief, and you'll find you'll get more and more success because you'll start to talk a little differently without even realizing it. It just happens naturally because of your consistent, effective action. The 6th one is attend your monthly training. So there's regular training happening in venues. Goran and I were talking today, and that'll be formalised probably a little bit more as we move forward in the next week or so around a more structured, formalised training program monthly in venues you can attend, where we can cover more of the detail, more time to cover more of the detail. The next one I'd say would be number 8, commit to personal development. And Nurium has a fantastic development program. I would recommend you get and read Jeff Olson's book called The Slight Edge. The founder of this company has authored that book before he started this company, basically. It's a fantastic read, and it will give you a lot of insights to the thinking behind Nurium. but also give you some clear direction. I'd also encourage you to, as part of that, to listen to the 2 CDs that Jeff does out of the Success Planner. They're out available as links, I think, as well. At least one of them is. Gora might confirm that later. But if you can get hold of those, listen to those, and you'll find those very insightful. It'll give you, again, a big edge in understanding the slight edge and also building your belief. Commitment number 9 is find a workout partner. In other words, closely link in to someone that you can ring anytime. Someone that's just there, that you can sort of lean on, that you feel comfortable with, that you can just have a quick chat to when you might feel a little off track. For some reason, a lot of us, our egos get in the way and we try and do it all our own. We don't want to feel like we have to depend on someone else. We don't feel like we want to basically use other people's time or feel like we're taking up their time or leaning on them. I want to encourage you to shift that attitude quickly, link in with other people and start to link your people in as well as a team. You've heard the acronym TEAM, together everyone achieves more. It's a truism. As you work more in a team environment, you become more, what's the word? It's in the middle of SEER, effective, more effective. It's about becoming more effective. It doesn't mean you're a lesser person. I'm linked in heavily to Goran. Goran and I now talk every day. And Goran might say to you, well, when we look at past achievements, Daryl, in terms of what you've actually achieved in this industry, it's perhaps more significant on the scoreboard than what I've achieved, as in Goran's achieved. And that may be true. Doesn't matter to me. Goran is in incredible support, and I value his advice and direction every bit. No one knows it all. I don't care how good we think we are. I don't care what level we might have got to in any endeavour. No one knows it all. Together, everyone achieves more. So I'd encourage you heavily on that one. And the last core commitment of Jeff's 10 is probably the most important one. If you're taking notes, and I hope you are, you should be by now, write this one in the biggest capital letters you can and make a decision tonight that you are going to honour this. In fact, if you want to send me a personal message, I would love those who want to take this series to send myself or Goran or whoever your key leader is, a message that I am committed to commitment number 10. And commitment number 10 very simply says this: be here in a year. I'll repeat it, be here in a year. Why is that one of Jeff Olson's 10 core commitments? Because Jeff Olson, I think, is smart enough, given his background history, to recognise exactly what I recognise, that for us to be successful, we need dream plus belief plus action. Belief in ourselves is a harder belief to get a handle on than it is the belief in the organisation. And it takes time, and it takes consistent, effective action. It takes plugging into a personal development program. It takes plugging into a workout partner. It takes all those simple little things to get to a point where you absolutely have no doubt that you're going to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. Because it doesn't matter how good we think we are, we all have doubts from time to time. I have them, you have them, we all have them. It's normal. But as time goes by, and by applying the 10 core commitments for a year, you'll look back and you'll be in a totally different place. Not just financially, personally, in every area you want to look at it, you'll be in a totally different place. 3 months is not enough time for you to be able to give yourself a fair assessment. 6 months is not enough time. A year is. So if you follow the 10 commitments for a year, you'll be in a totally different place. And Jeff knows you'll probably be there for 5 years. You'll probably continue and go all the way. So I hope you've picked up on some of those key points. Just recapping very quickly, the success formula is having a clear desire, having a sense of purpose, having a predetermined outcome, something that is exciting to you, make it visual, as visual as you possibly can, and take pictures, get images, whatever it is, get them in front of you on a daily basis so you start to impregnate that, etch that into your psychology. It becomes a very strong burning desire. start to build belief, and initially in Nerium, the company, and as we go by yourself, and we'll talk, as I said, more about that in weeks to come. And from that, when those two things come together, you can't help but act. Action will become natural to you. And of course, we want to make sure the action is what? Consistent and effective. Okay? Don't get sucked into, I'm going to do it the quick, fast way that Mary round the corner, whose uncle's dog said, this is the way you do it quick, buddy. Listen to people like Goran, who's been around this 25 years. Listen to others on this link up tonight. I won't name them, but you know who they are, who have been around this 25 years and know the solid way to do it. As time goes by, we'll get exposed to more of the Nerium leadership out of the US. And I'm looking forward to listening to them because they've done it the Nerium way. That's a little different to probably how I've done it. And I want to listen to them and learn from them as much as you should, because there's people that have done amazing things. Lots of people have never been in this industry before. In a period of 18 months have gone from nothing to $750,000 US. That's over $1 million Australian. In 18 months, never been in this industry before, come from every background you can imagine, all the normal backgrounds, just like you and I, every different personality. Don't tell me that you're timid and shy so you can't do it. We'll put examples of timid and shy people who in 18 months to 2 years have gone from nothing to earning massive six-figure incomes. So all of those things that we put up as obstacles and roadblocks for us will help you break those down over time to a point where you really believe you can do it, because you can. Goran and I absolutely believe in every one of you. We wouldn't be spending our time talking to you if we didn't. It really comes back to you having the desire and putting the time and effort in to consistently build that belief, take the appropriate action, and you will achieve the success that you all want and I know deserve. So thanks for your time tonight. I'm going to hand back to Goran. We look forward to chatting to you more as we travel this journey together. It's going to be fun. We want to make it fun. It is a fun business. The people is what makes it fun. Nerium, the company, put on a few things to help make it even more fun, but the people principally is what makes it fun. So let's spend a lot more time together, hopefully more face-to-face over time. But if this is the medium that's the most effective to get the message out there quickly now, well, that's what we'll use for now. So thanks for your time, and I'll hand back to Goran.
Absolutely brilliant, Daryl. I'm sure everyone would agree that, in fact, I think we should all put our cyberspace hands together for Daryl, because I think that was absolutely brilliant. And great job, mate. Great job.
Thank you.
And I do have a couple of questions. Remember, guys, we said that if anyone wants to send a... Sorry, I'm just reading a couple here. Thank you. All right. So, and I've got some commitments as well. They're coming through thick and fast via text and private message. One quick question, and Daryl, you might, in fact, I've got two here for you, and this might be of interest to many of us on the call. Number one, what is a way that you invite people to have a look at the information? You want to share a strategy?
Yeah.
Mine as well, but I'd love to hear what you say to people when inviting them.
Yeah, I'll give a few pointers, and Goran, you chip in as well. But basically, obviously, we are in a pre-launch phase, and so when I look at Nerium, when I personally looked at Nerium as an opportunity, what was it that grabbed me? And there's a couple of things, couple of key things. But the first one is we have a product whose time is right, without question. And you know, many of us have listened to already by now, and if you haven't, I encourage you to. Harry Estent's video clip on, he's an economic advisor, an expert on demographics, and he's basically followed the baby boomers. And his view is that wherever the baby boomers move next and spend their money, that's the business to be in. And if you follow history, you couldn't argue with that logic. And so the baby boomers now are between probably 50, 65, maybe 70, that sort of age group. And what are they all wanting to do? They're wanting to look younger. They're wanting to keep looking as young as they can for a lot of good reasons. And so health and well-being is what he's saying is the big industry the next big industry boom, and he believes it's got about a 20-year window in terms of absolutely exploding because of the baby boomers. And so why anti-aging? because when you have a product like we have, a real genuine product that is clinically proven by independent studies written in medical journals and people that have no vested interest, no stakeholding whatsoever in Nerium, when you have a product like that and people can see the real results of photos of their face, then you've got something to hang your hat on. There's many other health and wellbeing companies out there that, in my opinion, struggle because they're trying to force a juice or a gel or some stuff down your throat and tell you it makes you feel better. And you can convince yourself any day of the week that stuff makes you feel better. I mean, you know, glass of water makes you feel better. It's a very subjective thing. And what we find is when people are asked to spend an extra $200, $300, $400 a month on that type of product, it's very easy for them to go, you know what, I'm not sure it's really doing, I drop off. But people are already spending money on skincare. So this is not saying spend money on an extra, this is spending money on something they're already doing. So it's replacing their, whatever it is, their L'Oreal's or their Estee Lauders or their whatever it is with Nerium. And guess what? On top of getting a nice skincare, which does all the things you want a skincare to do to you, it also reduces the aging process. In other words, reduces wrinkles, etc., etc. So it's a bit of a no-brainer from a product point of view. So we've got a great product. So I'll be talking about the fact that Nerium's got a sensational product and it's coming to Australia. That's the big one, is to say this thing hasn't been launched yet, so the opportunity is prime now. I would keep it very simple. I wouldn't get into stuff about incomes, etc., etc. It's build the credibility of the company. You can throw out things if you need to. Things like, Microsoft are backing it in some of its areas, information technology, etc. One of the largest cosmetic and skincare manufacturers in the world have partnered up with Nerium. This is a company that has a proven 4-year track record. They've been through the infancy of growing an organisation to where it's turning over more than $1 billion, the fastest on record, but we're in the advantageous position of hearing about it before it's even launched in Australia. That's an opportunity you can't let go by. So let's have a look at it. I'll give you some information, and there's no big deal. Get yourself registered, get yourself a position. You don't have to hand over any money. It's signing a letter of intent. It's not exactly signing the house up. It's just a letter of intent.
Yeah. And guys,
so it could be very simple. Sorry,
we've got some scripting around that, pretty much along the lines of what Daryl's talking about. And if you haven't seen that, I'll make sure that everyone I've got most of your emails on the call, not everybody, but I'll send that out tonight and make sure that that's filtered through. But obviously with any type of scripting, Daryl, I'm sure you agree with this, you want to put your own personality, your own flair, your own feel to it, and make it your own. So but I suppose some of the key points that Daryl are making there around the fact that we're in pre-launch, product everybody wants, company's already done $1 billion in the last 4 years, a chance to position yourself in front of the tidal wave, and we can be part of it. There's an easy way to become it is probably part of that deal. And one more question that's come through is what links are people using to share the information? So I will send that out with the link, with the scripting. But Daryl, I assume you're using the same one I am, which is the liveyoungerlives.com /overview or /intro. So we've got that. The beauty about that is that there's enough information in there to get someone excited. But Daryl made the point, which I think is probably the most crucial. You've got to connect people to someone. And I think most of us here have been around this industry for a while, understand the fact that if you can connect someone to someone who can assist and build the credibility and edify you as well as someone that's worthwhile working with, that's really the key to success. What I would like to do just in closing is just, number one, thank Daryl and thank every one of you for jumping online, and just suggest that you jump onto, whenever you can, www.otnevents.com. OTN Infinelli, as in one team Nerium, events.com. That's a site that's been put together by Rob and Nikki Hawkins, who are the guys that have been assisting the launch of Nerium here in Australia. That will have all of the live events that you can bring people to that are on around Australia. And what's happened as of the last couple of days is that there are 3 events now in Queensland, on the Gold Coast, in Brisbane, and also the Sunshine Coast, each and every week. And we are looking through various leadership teams to be running that sort of a setup, whether it's every week or every fortnight. That decision hasn't been made yet. That's going to be happening as well. What we're also, Daryl and I were talking about this today, and that is looking at running at least 1 to 2 opportunity webinars each week. These will be short, sharp, probably no more than 30 to 35-minute sessions where we will actually do a presentation of the opportunity and the direction that people can take. So that will be something that you can invite a guest onto so that they can learn a little bit more about what Nerium offers and what this pre-launch opportunity effectively means. Okay, so we might look at setting up the first one next week, so stay tuned to your emails about that. So guys, I want to hold...
Goran, sorry, if I could just add something there. I know for some of the people on the link up, they probably haven't had that much experience with what you just mentioned.
Okay.
And what I just want to say to them that for a lot of us, we probably we tend to start off building it locally, which is fantastic. But what Goran just talked about it opens up not just Australia, it opens up globally. Now, because we aren't tapped into a system yet, we cannot not introduce anyone outside of Australia. But come October 18th, you can introduce anyone in Japan, South Korea, Canada, US, and Mexico. All right? So it's another little thing to start thinking about, putting together those lists. But through this medium, you can start to build a team by just plugging them into exactly what Goran just talked about. So this is where technology will make a huge difference compared to what some people on the link I know have done in the past. So don't close yourself off to that. It's going to give you a much broader opportunity than just creating your local. Of course, local, it allows you to get face-to-face with people a lot more regularly, which is fantastic. I mean, I love that side, but you limit yourself given technology. So I would encourage you to get used to that.
And of course, Daryl, we can't forget our brothers and sisters over the ditch as well in New Zealand. So we are launching New Zealand at the same time as Australia. So I'll send a couple of emails out tonight that will have some of that additional information in it. I'll also send Daryl, because Daryl mentioned a fantastic talk that's available on YouTube. It is one of the CDs in the Success Planner that you will receive when you get started on October the 18th. But I highly recommend that you have a listen to that. It's about a 55-minute recording by Jeff Olson. Absolutely brilliant. So I'll send out links because we've got that loaded onto YouTube. So guys, thanks for being with us tonight. Appreciate your commitment, your enthusiasm, and love hearing from you, Daryl. And we know with the amount of talent that is just on this screen in front of me right now, that we're going to be hearing a lot of amazing stories and some great education from so many of you as well in the coming weeks and months. Guys, have a fantastic week. If you need help from any of us, send an email, put a call in. Happy to be there in whatever capacity. And just to give you an example of that, this Zoom technology that we're on right now is actually brilliant for someone to present to someone who might be at long distance. So obviously, Glenn and I were having a conversation yesterday about how much fun it is sitting in front of someone and presenting. I was doing that just 2 hours ago, just up the road here. I love doing that. Some of you probably love doing that, certainly those that have been around for a while. But with this technology, we can be in someone's lounge room, even if they're on the other side of the country. So if you want to use that technology, you want us to help you, we can actually do that for you. Guys, have a fantastic night. Be good. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Thanks again, Daryl.
Thanks, Warren.